What? No overtime this time? No quadruple overtime this time? Nope. Like I said, every game, every season, and every series is different. This is not an exception here. The Panthers go in town to Raleigh, North Carolina, and I mean, this is something that was the Panthers just absolutely know how to handle on the road. And to come in town and beat them 5-2 against Frederick Anderson. Again, Bobrovsky was awesome. I thought he was pretty good. Some of the goals, couple of goals were was designed, but one of them was rather controversial. It is. What do you want me to say? Sergei Bobrovsky versus Frederick Anderson. So it starts off with the face-off win for Carolina. First shot on target didn't happen all the way. Actually, it didn't even happen until like 4 minutes and 43 seconds. It was Gustav Forsling with the slap shot that was stopped by Frederick Anderson. There was a hooking penalty against Sam Bennett to Jacob Slavin. Or Slavin. So Carolina goes on their first power play of the game. And during this power play, Sebastian Aho with the wrist shot that was stopped by Bobrovsky. That was a good stop right there. Seth Jarvis with the slap shot that was stopped by Bobrovsky as well. A little bit of a tail end to this power play. Aho with the wrist shot, and off the rebound, Stan Coven which tries to bat it into the back of the net, which was stopped by Bobrovsky, and then a penalty on Sebastian Aho. It was a roughing call against Anton Lundell. This was a retaliation penalty on Sebastian Aho, because what happened before that was Lundell may have shoved Aho from behind the back, and they really wanted that cross-check penalty. They didn't get it. Everyone was pissed off at Carolina. They were so angry the fact that this cross-check wasn't called, but I thought it was just a clean shove. These players do it all the time. However, I could see why they're arguing the fact that this wasn't called. But Sebastian Aho gets this roughing call, but I think they make up for it later in the game, and I'll explain what happens later in the game. So this would be a 4-on-4 for a couple of seconds, and this would be a Florida power play. This would be a Florida power play at approximately 7:0 or 7:18. Puck was frozen, played from beyond center. There's that. Fantastic. And then their first shot on target with Florida's power play was a score. He's assisted by Matthew Tkachuk. That's his 7th assist of the playoffs. And Barkov's 8th assist of the playoffs. And that was just amazing backhand from Carter Verhaeghe to the top side of the goal net, past Frederick Anderson. And there was a beautiful backhand, man. And it's a power play goal, too. His 5th goal of the playoffs. 1-0 Florida. AJ Greer tries to get one in. That was stopped by Anderson. And a few minutes later, another one. This was a snapshot. He's assisted by Rodriguez. Evan Rodriguez, that's his 5th assist of the playoffs. And off the snapshot, it's Aaron Ekblad. Ekblad gets his 3rd goal of the playoffs. I thought Evan Rodriguez played excellent hockey tonight. He was so good tonight. And Ekblad got a goal here against Carolina. So this was amazing. Good shot there by Aaron Ekblad, and good location too. 2-0 Florida. So the Carolinas trying to shooting the puck. Seth Jarvis with a snapshot that was stopped by Bobrovsky. Tomas Nosek with the wrist shot that was stopped by Anderson. Carrier with the wrist shot that was stopped by Bobrovsky. As the time winds down to the second period, Seth Jones with his wrist shot that was stopped by Anderson. Lo Serena with the tip in, which was a good save by Anderson. And in 1944 into the first period, so approximately 15 seconds before this period ends, they would get this goal in, as he is assisted by Andrei Svechnikov. That's his 2nd assist of the playoffs. And Seth Jarvis' 7th assist of the playoffs. And off the deflection, Sebastian Aho with his 4th goal of the playoffs, and this was a controversial goal. So there's a rule, and obviously you know this rule as well as I do. you cannot kick the puck to the back of the net. What happened is that puck went to the side of Aho's stick, and that kicking motion to the left. It was kick motion to the left, and which that was a new direction the puck was going towards the back of the net. By rule, that's kicking. I feel like that's kicking. It doesn't have to always be from the front of the foot. It doesn't always have to be. Because I've seen calls sometimes, rare cases, where this type of goal would be disallowed. However, for whatever reason I can't explain, the goal stood. That is clearly kicking. That is kicking the puck to the back of the net. And again, it doesn't always have to be at the front. So, if the puck deflects off the skate, if there's no kicking motion, if there's no motion, right? The puck just bounces off the skate and it directs that way. If there's no motion from that foot to seemingly be a kick, then it'll be fine. But there was a motion to the left when the puck was coming towards it. Bam, right towards this way to the back of the net. But Brodsky was complaining about it. I mean, this goal shouldn't be allowed, but whatever. He gets his fourth goal of the playoffs. I hate this goal. This was a terrible goal, terrible call, but it's all forgiven. So that's why I said it kind of evens out. Well, kind of. Then first period ends. First period ends in favor of Florida. We go to the second period now, where we had some problems. We got one goal, but we had some problems. So the one goal happened pretty early in this period, as AJ Greer was snapped at home, and this was a beauty from Mikula. He's assisted by Nosek. That's a second assist. And Niko Mikula's first assist of the playoffs, and that was just an amazing pass to AJ Greer with his second goal of the playoffs. I mean, you cannot design that any better. So that is a 3-1 Panthers lead right now. And it will remain like that for the rest of the period. So Sam Bennett with the wrist shot that was stopped by Anderson after the Sebastian Aho snapshot, which was stopped by Brodsky. But Brodsky was awesome in this period. He had a shutout period with everything. Nate Schmidt was robbed. AJ Greer had a backhand off the rebound. And Gatchwich with the backhand off the rebound from Anderson. And needless to say, Anderson stopped all the pucks right there. So that's the beauty of having a good goaltender, right? So by that point, that's the last shot on target from the Florida Panthers in this period. 6 minutes into the second period, that was the last shot of the period. Since then, a few penalties there and there, and a few shots on targets for Carolina. Svechnikov with the high stick against Nate Schmidt. That was clear and obvious right there. So Florida goes on this power play, and I'm so sorry. There was actually a shot on target in this power play with Sam Bennett with the wrist shot that was stopped by Anderson, and that penalty would be killed off. Now after that shot, so disregard what I said earlier. Sam Bennett's wrist shot was stopped by Anderson. That one was their last shot of the period. So my mistake, I got a little bit of a mixed up. But that was their last shot of the period. And after that, Forsling gets a cross against Svechnikov. So Carolina goes on a power play. And during this power play, Shane Gostisbehere, we'll talk about him in a minute. He gets a wrist shot in that was stopped by Bobrovsky. And at the tail end of this power play, Seth Jarvis actually hit the crossbar, so that was close. I mean, that was really close. Svechnikov with the wrist shot that was stopped by Bobrovsky, and this power play is killed off. However, for pretty much majority of the second period, the tail end, Panthers could not keep that puck out of the zone. They cannot get the puck out of the zone. And the thing is, too, is Carolina's winning faceoffs. They are winning faceoffs most of every single time. So, and all the meanwhile, Carolina's shooting the puck. So you rely on hits and blocking the shots. And that's what Gasevich is doing. That's what Loserine is doing as well. And they keep missing the puck. Or, excuse me, they keep missing the net. And we're not getting shot on target anymore. Scott Morrow with the wrist shot. Sean Walker with the wrist shot, both of which were stopped by Bobrovsky. Walker again. And Brett Burns with the snapshot that was stopped by Bobrovsky. And then by the time we get a shot attempt from Barkov, it was stopped by Martinuk. Then the second period ends. We can have a little bit of a sigh of relief knowing that we got out of the period, knowing that all the times that we keep losing faceoffs and could not get the puck out of the zone, that's a win right there. And we have a 3-1 lead. So Florida's playing a little dangerous here. Third period, Roslovic with the wrist shot that was stopped by Bobrovsky. Sebastian Aho with the wrist shot that was stopped by Bobrovsky. They're still having problems trying to shoot trying to get their own out of their own zone. By the time they finally do that, Reinhardt hit the crossbar off the tip, and geez, that should have went in. And then, and there's still no shot on target. Mind you, 10:56 into the second period, we have yet to get a shot on target. So at this point, it's been 14 minutes. And then Scott Morrow with a penalty that cost him big time. And this would be a Florida power play because there is a puck over the glass from one side of the ice to another, completely missing everybody. So Florida goes on the power play. Their next shot on target, it's a score. He's assisted by Verhaeghe. That's his 5th assist of the playoffs. And Evan Rodriguez, 6th assist of the playoffs. And not the snapshot. It's Sam Bennett with his 7th goal of the playoffs to make it 4-1 lead for the Florida Panthers. It's another power play goal over the Carolina Hurricanes, 4-1. And that was their next shot on target since the half point of the second period. And it's a goal. That would frustrate the hell out of the Hurricanes and the fan base. Absolutely. 8:15 into the third period. This is where this is another point of the controversy that I feel like as a Panthers fan. So what happened was Brad Marchand goes in to fight Shane Gostisbehere, right? There was a hit on, a little bit of hit on Gostisbehere in the 8-minute mark where he lost a puck. Now Gostisbehere had the puck and shot that puck towards Brad Marchand. And this upset Brad Marchand. And that's a retaliation, right? He comes in and beats up Gostisbehere, and Gostisbehere loses this. He loses this fight. He lost his fight. He pretty much took himself down. As he was grabbing Brad Marchand, he falls down and pretty much took himself down. As Brad Marchand was the one that's still not on the ice, not laying down on the ice. But here's the controversy: why is it that he doesn't get an unsportsmanlike conduct? Gostisbehere shot the puck intentionally to Brad Marchand. Everybody saw it. And despite that, no misconduct, not even unsportsmanlike conduct. All Shane Gostisbehere gets is a roughing call. Brad Marchand gets double minor for roughing. He gets 2, which would then be served by Matthew Tkachuk. However, in addition to the 2 roughings that Brad Marchand gets, he gets ejected from the game. He gets a misconduct, won't play for the rest of the game. It's a 10-minute misconduct. But oh my God, the controversy is this. Gostisbehere started. I feel like he started by shooting the puck directly at Brad Marchand, especially towards, this area, right? Why isn't he gone too? You cannot have it one way. It should be both ways. And especially if he was the one that started with the puck towards Brad Marchand, especially towards the high area. Why isn't he getting a misconduct? Why is Brad Marchand only getting the misconduct? That's a controversy. I think it's stupid. I think it's ridiculous how you call it one way and you don't call it both. And oh no, I think it's really stupid. So Matthew Tkachuk will serve this penalty. Carolina winds up with this power play. Carolina will wind up with the power play despite starting the fight. That's crazy. The good news is Florida did not allow a shot on target. And this power play is easily killed off. And right after the penalty was killed off, Rodriguez with a really nice backhand shot, but that was stopped by Anderson though. Slavin with the snap shot that was stopped by Bobrovsky. Alexander Barkov with the snap shot that was stopped by Anderson. Slavin with the wrist shot that was stopped by Bobrovsky. And then off the face-off, Tomas Nosek, Kasperi hits Nosek, but the puck winds up to the stick of Loserinen. I mean, this was a really beautiful pass. He is assisted by Gustav Forsling. That's his third assist of the playoffs. And Tomas Nosek with his third assist of the playoffs. That puck winds up through the legs. I think Gossesphere. Yeah, Gossesphere. Puck went through the legs of Gossesphere, and Loserinen saw that coming and snaps it home. I mean, just a beautiful play there. If you're gonna stop the puck, you gotta put the hockey stick on the ice. You can't have it floating up in the air because that will hurt the Carolina Hurricanes. And that puck was, without a doubt, going to go to the back of the net. And Loserinen makes it 5-1. And this game was over. I don't see the reason how Carolina was going to make this comeback. Gossesphere with the wrist shot that was above the crossbar, so they had it close. Gadjevich with the roughing penalty against Scott Morrow, so Carolina goes on the power play, and during this power play, Gossesphere again with getting a wrist shot hit the crossbar. They do get a power play goal as that puck was loose into the blue crease, and there was a finish. So he is assisted by Shane Gossesphere. That's his fifth assist of the playoffs. And Seth Jarvis' eighth assist of the playoffs. And not the wrist shot. I mean, Jackson Blake was right there to finish it off. He makes it 5-2 Florida with his third goal of the playoffs. And so they get one back, which would mean at that point AJ Guerrero's third goal of the game from AJ Guerrero would officially be a game-winning goal. So Carolina would get one back, but it's still a little bit too late. There's still some slight hope. I mean, you remember that Dallas and Vancouver game a month or so back. So you don't want to have that thoughts. And at that point, they bring out Frederik Andersen for the rest of this game. And since then, Sean Walker with the wrist shot that was stopped by Bobrovsky. Seth Jarvis tries to deflect it. Good deflection, but there was a great save by Bobrovsky. Slavin with the wrist shot that was stopped by Bobrovsky. And then Kotkaniemi with the wrist shot that was stopped by Bobrovsky. Scott Morrow with the wrist shot, Bobrovsky again. And that's pretty much it. The final score of this game, 5-2. There was some after-game scuffle. Gadjevich with the roughing penalty, but the game was over. He was roughing Gossesphere, but in the end, Florida wins this one 5-2 over the Carolina Hurricanes, and this was a nice win. A nice win to start off the Eastern Conference Finals. Panthers, hopefully they can continue this momentum and heading into Game 2. So, with that being said, Panthers win a great game. Coming to Raleigh, North Carolina, where it's so tough to play at. They got it done 5-2. So 3 more wins to get back to the Stanley Cup final. Job is not done. We got to do it again on Thursday night. So Carolina's going to look to play some revenge game. They're going to play very angry. When we look at the team stats, 33 shots on targets for Carolina, 20 shots on targets for Florida, 48 hits for Florida, 49 hits for Carolina, 42 face-off wins for Carolina. That's a lot of them coming from the second period, especially as of late. And Florida with only 28. So they dominate face-offs while Florida had that disadvantage. And despite that, it all came down to one thing only, the offense. And that's what Carolina didn't have, but Florida did. And that's awesome. Penalties, total penalties, 7 penalties for the Panthers, 4 penalties for the Carolina Hurricanes, 22 penalty minutes for Florida and only 8 penalty minutes for Carolina. This is mostly due to the fact about Brad Marchand, which is still a stupid officiating right there, but it is what it is. 4 power play opportunities for Carolina. They got one. They got one late in the third period. 3 power play opportunities for Florida. They got 2 power play goals, which was awesome. 21 block shots for Florida, 17 block shots for Carolina, 2 takeaways for Florida, 8 takeaways for Carolina. Both teams with 13 giveaways and stars of the game. 1 star goes to Sergei Bobrovsky with 31 saves. 31 saves out of 33. 2 stars goes to Carter Verhaeghe with 1 goal, 1 assist. He was the one that started the scoring. And 3 stars, and like I said, Evan Rodriguez played so good tonight. He deserves 3 stars with this one with 2 assists. Game 2 is on Thursday, which will be 8 o'clock p.m., of course, on TNT. And yeah, Game 2. We'll see the Florida Panthers continue this momentum as they look to get back to the Stanley Cup Finals. So what a great game for the Florida Panthers to start off the Eastern Conference Finals. Good start. Now they got to keep going. Keep on going and defend the territory. So that's going to do it for this video. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe for content because Miami TVG has it back. What he does, keep it right there with the fear team you deserve. This is Miami TVG sign off, folks. Good night, everybody.